Welcome back to the Drew Pearson Show. We are here with the one and only Val Kilmer. Welcome
Hi.
back to Dallas.
Thank you.
Well, we're very, very excited about Citizen Twain, and this is a truly a one-man show. You scouted the location yourself.
I did, yes. I'm producing it and I wrote it, and it's been a lot of fun. It's a fun evening in the theater.
Yeah. And have you always been such a big Mark Twain fan?
Well, yeah. My father was born here, and a lot of family from the South. And there's just something about his sensibility. Obviously, why he's the most quoted American in our history is because he's so insightful about such basic, important aspects of living, you know.
Well, and you have to get really inside the head of his character. And how is that? Because, I mean, you've been doing this for years and years, but how is it you get inside the head of a character of someone that is real, that you've never met?
Well, practice. It's 3 years I've been working on the play, mainly for the writing. I had ideas about the character, and this is all based on a movie that I've been writing for about 10 years, on and off. Sounds like a long time, and look, if I put it all together, it's probably about 4 years. It's hard to write a movie, and it's hard to write a play, but about a genius, or two geniuses. The movie's about Mark Twain and Mary Baker Eddy. Very challenging, but also really inspiring. Mark Twain is, there are things that he's written that I have read 10 years ago and still making me laugh out loud today.
Yeah.
He's got such a keen sense of what's important and frames it in such a delightful way. A lot of crucial, very sobering aspects too of our character as a nation, like racism, that still has to be dealt with. He's found a way to be challenging but inviting. You know, that's a hard thing to achieve as an artist, and very few people become kind of master at communication like that. But the main thing too is he's funny. Like he says about Mrs. Eddy, writers of great genius write like wine. I write like water, but everybody drinks water. And it's a good example of his style. He's very self-complimentary. He said, "I'm not an American, I'm the American." And he really is. He's like the narrator of our story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm really happy to be here at the Wiley, too.
I know, this is such a great theater.
Yeah, I really love it. It's such a beautiful design, and I'm looking forward to it. It's really a national tour I'm beginning here. I haven't really thought of it that way because we're just now starting to book places, but I thought of coming to Texas first.
Good.
Really
Well, yeah,
happy.
you were here for the art of film, and so here you were scouting locations. And
Yeah.
what is it? Is there a certain feel about the theater when you go in and you know it's the right place?
Yeah. This it's a new theater, so it's building a kind of a sense of its soul and identity in the community, and there's something that's really exciting about bringing an icon like Mark Twain to a theater that it's got an iconic design to it, but it's super modern. Because you'll see when you see the play, he's I'll give away this part. Twain is dead, and he realizes that he's dead, but he kind of forgets that he's dead. And the idea of being in a place that's like a spaceship is really attractive.
I like that.
Yeah.
And what do you do to get yourself in the headspace to be Mark Twain?
Well, I've been working on it for so long now. It's kind of I don't really go into it any kind of routine or ritual. Just kind of I'm still a work in progress. I'm writing new lines all the time. I wrote a joke about Dirk last night. Put it in the play at the beginning because I can.
Yeah.
No one can stop me because I'm the writer. And Mark Twain is dead, so.
I love that. He would be proud.
He would be. I think he would enjoy a dirt joke about the Mavericks.
That's great. I love that. Well, and also, it's got to be exciting for you too to sort of lose yourself in the role, because people are not seeing Val Kilmer; they're seeing Mark Twain. So that's got to be kind of exciting as an actor, right?
Well, it's aimed to be entertaining, and the more deeply you can communicate the truth of the character, the more you're entertaining. And he's a genius, so there's a really high level of energy about his ideas, and that just keeps you on your toes all night long. It's really exciting. I know a lot of people, like my son, who's 17 now. He saw it first when he was about 15. He was really surprised that it wasn't boring, because we think of Mark Twain pretty much in relation to whoever our English teacher was that made us read it, whether we wanted to or not. And he's a lot more dynamic than a school session. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and this is going to be exciting because we're going to have a lot of aspiring actors coming to see you.
I hope so.
So what kind of advice would you give to them going into this business? It's a crazy business.
Yeah. I'm always really hard on parents when they introduce me to their children, because it's so tough. It's really, really hard business, so you have to be dedicated beyond what really exists in any example in everyday life. It's very, very hard because you have to be involved in yourself all day long, studying how you talk, changing how you talk, how you walk, how you think, or at least coming to grips with your flaws, or being willing to share what's unpleasant about yourself or your particular fears, and as well as your strengths. And then not to be involved with yourself out in the world. If you've noticed, if you talk to an actor, they pretty much got one subject, which is themselves. I'm just thinking of some examples. I don't want to be rude.
Oh, you've seen.
I don't want to be rude, Owen Wilson.
You've seen.
I can only say that because Owen's a very, very fine comedian and a Texan and a friend. He knows that he doesn't think about himself all day long,
right,
every day, every hour of the day.
I think it's great. We love having him here when we can get him here. Well, and you came up in a now there's so many different ways that people can get their films out and kind of go on their own. But you came around in a different time. What was the craziest thing about when you got your start about getting into iTunes?
I don't really have a crazy story. I just I was very lucky and got to go to a very good school. So I was very confident that I had something to say as an actor when I started. And I started in theater, and it's great to come back to it now, especially with such a dimensional character like Mark Twain. You really don't know what's going to come out of his mouth next. But the main thing is funny. It's so important to laugh. And our society really isn't structured that way, to go out and find your own story and to go out and enjoy life. There's a lot of sort of strange habits we've gotten into that aren't really teaching us how wonderful life is in a kind of elemental way. Like Twain's very basic guy, and but interested in everything. It's hard not to sound a bit what's the word? I can't think of it. Neurotic, maybe, about describing him. But he's just so dynamic. He's really every man.
Yeah. One, you've had such an amazing, successful career. But what is your definition of success?
Well, it's a personal achievement. You have to get to a place. In comedy, you have to get to a place where you don't need the laughs. And when you're not getting them for the 15 years that it takes to really know what you're doing on stage, any comedian will tell you it takes 15 years. It doesn't make sense that you're not trying to get the laugh, or if you're an actor, trying to be good or be recognized. it's a sense of being in the art that is the achievement, and then it really doesn't matter whether you have an audience or not. It's nice that people come. I'm very grateful. I had a standing ovation in Los Angeles when I did the play a couple nights ago, and you know, it's a nice recognition for the effort, but it's not the motive. I think it's finding a place of contentment, you know, about life, and staying curious. You know that it's not about the past.
Well, and this is a character that you could play feasibly for years if you want to.
Yeah, Hal Holbrook has done it for 60 years next year, which is
amazing.
Hard to say without laughing. 60 years. You know, most people don't breathe for 60 years,
right.
And he's played another guy for 60 years. But he's been very supportive of my show, and mine's very different. It's got a lot of, you know, I deal a bit with his dark side too, and it's not strictly a comedy. And I'm proud of the writing. I think people will enjoy it here in Dallas, and looking forward to getting started. I wish I was doing it tonight.
I know. Well, one of the last things we want to ask you is the show is the Drew Pearson Show, and Drew famously called the Hail Mary catch.
Yeah.
And I think everyone has a Hail Mary moment in their life. What do you think that was? Where you just had to, didn't look good, but you just had to go for it, and it worked out.
I don't know. I jumped off the stage once during the Doors, and I wasn't supposed to. But I don't think that's as big a deal as that catch. No, I don't know. I've made a lot of extreme choices in terms of success. I'm not really known in any way with the kind of persona like my contemporaries. You know, like Johnny Depp, you think of a kind of character that is a part of who he really is, but I don't think he wears that hat all day long at home, or that amount of jewelry, or you know, it's a style he's developed that is a fun character for him. Or Tom Hanks with kind of, think of an American flag fluttering behind his head. Or Tom Cruise seems to always be running somewhere now, part of his persona. But I don't really have that, and I'm really looking forward to being more present in my business. I lived a quiet life in New Mexico for most of my life, and now I'm going to be more active. I got a Twit account. You ran out?
Yeah.
Quick.
We've got that one.
And got a website now, participating more with people, and trying to make an art project out of communication itself.
Yeah.
There's some people doing some really interesting things with that.
Yeah.
And I have I can launch my new website. Because I thought of it here during the Dallas Film Festival. No, it was not the film festival, which is going on right now.
Right.
I was just being honored by
Art
it.
of film. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that I'm going to do battle with Kevin Bacon and 6 Degrees of Separation. I have a new. Well, we'll start a website. It's a campaign. And mine is 3 degrees of validation. So it takes practically nothing to have a relationship with me, where it takes 6 degrees to have one with Kevin Bacon. It has nothing to do with acting or film or anything that's serious. Like, were you born here?
No, actually in Mississippi, but I
Born in Mississippi, so we have
yeah.
Mississippi
Yeah.
River because I'm playing Mark Twain.
Right.
That's all it takes to have 3 degrees of validation.
Right.
So put her there.
Hey,
Been
there it is.
validated.
Yeah, well,
That's my campaign.
you know, but
Kevin wants to fight. I'll fight. I don't think he's gonna though. He's too nice a guy.
yeah, well, you
But
know,
why does he get all the?
I don't know.
There's a lot of attention.
But in closing, I mean, we were talking about all the great characters and roles that you've had from Batman.
I could
to
play Kevin
Tombstone.
Bacon.
Yeah.
That would be a challenge.
That would
I
be
could
a
do
challenge.
a remake of Footloose.
Now there's one we need,
The
right?
wheels are turning.
I like it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Really
All right.
appreciate you being on the show.